This guy is contributing nothing to the world. The only thing he contributed was unearthing like childhood photos of Hasan.
With TYT University rebranding at least twice over the years and the entirety of the Bro Tip series wiped from the channel, it is difficult to say how the series developed. But what is known is Hasan does not look back on the series fondly.
I had like an older run where I was like way more, first of all, I was way more broy than I am now. I'm still pretty broy now, but I was way more broy back then. It was just trying to be funny.
Exactly.
It was hacky. It was hacky. It was bad.
Even with a not so great start, he continued his work at the Young Turks.
Okay, so that is completely disingenuous from this guy, but he's saying that like he's trying to make Hasan look like that was actually what he believed in, when Hasan was just saying like, I was broy back then and I was trying to be funny and satirical. But the guy made it seem like, oh no, that's actually what Hasan believes, but he's just more broy back then and now he's less broy. So very slimy stuff from this guy.
He could even be seen as a guest on other similar and popular channels like BuzzFeed. It was not until 2016 that he got a big break in the form of The Breakdown, a series hosted on Facebook and on the main The Young Turks channel. In respect to the theme of this channel, Hasan discussed—
I mean, the thing that gets me about this is that Hasan has talked about his career and developing through his career so much that you don't need to do this. You could literally just like go to any podcast episode that Hasan has appeared on or go through his streams and actually do research and like find out Hasan's career trajectory. You don't need to do all of this outside looking in. Okay, first he was here and then he pops up there and then he's there and now he's on Twitch. You can just get like a 5-minute segment of any kind of podcast that he's on and use that. And yeah, you can chop this runtime in probably half.
And explain political topics. This series appears to be far better received as Hasan had greatly improved in his delivery and did away with the more scandalous jokes. He was also a fill-in host. This is when the planned host for a video is unavailable and so Hasan is called on as a temporary replacement. And all this was working in his favor. Starting in 2016, every 4 years, interest in content Hasan was producing would reach a new peak. This is due to the US elections driving more interest in politics. And while political pundits are not relatively new, the booming social media space allowed them to gain more influence by their own means. Of note, at least in reference to the story of Hasan, was Tommy Lauren, a political pundit who leans right and was quite popular at the time. Enough so that it inspired Hasan to make videos countering hers.
This isn't about arriving at the truth or justice. For you, it's certainly not about the facts. It's just about tapping into the primal fears of your fan base so they'll go out and vote Republican.
If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Maybe you're one of the liberal types who spend the next 2 weeks defending this illegal immigrant murderer.
As Hasan describes it, these series of videos were highly popular and possibly helped in keeping his series going well into 2017 and 2018. But Hasan still wanted to do more. Not for the Young Turks this time, but for him. He tried his hand at vlogging and other forms of content creation, but more and more was favoring streaming on Twitch. Here, he would play video games while
I really don't give a about this. Okay, growth and Destiny / Hasan dynamic. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna listen to that. Like, I really don't care. Oh, turns out Destiny's a person. Wow. All right, let's just skip to the comments. Once again, I think it's ironic that this guy started the video off by saying, we're not going to talk about the politics, but the only things I'm going to criticize him on are when he's criticizing America. All right. Oh, America deserved. Oh, for some reason he didn't grow up in America due to his parents being prominent Turkish citizens. All right, let's just see how he wraps up the Destiny thing.
After Destiny's stream is my favorite thing to watch. Here's some money for the best content on Twitch XD.
Thanks, buddy. I have your email now, by the way, just for the record. So why don't you just fucking sending me donos to harass me for your daddy Destiny with literally your email involved in it? What a stupid thing you just did now. You absolute idiot. I have your full name now. And this time, if I go to fucking Twitch, it's reasonable because you're literally harassing me. Do you know how many fucking donos I've gotten from Destiny's fans tonight? Do you know how many fucking Destiny fans have sent me their emails tonight?
Excuse me.
Paying money.
Also, hold on. Like, I just gotta say, like, look, Ethan Klein has made the point that Hasan changed his voice, right? His voice is very high-pitched here. It's kind of lower-pitched in modern day, like, currently. Let's just take a look at how his voice sounded before he started streaming on Twitch.
If you don't, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna have your dog. And once more, bro tip is ending.
Wow, so his voice is actually kind of dark, or deep at least. Yeah, so honestly, like, it's quite obvious it was the microphone. And who the cares? Oh my god.
Especially when compared to his most controversial statements of 2019.
I can't do it. This guy has the understanding of foreign policy of like a 12-year-old. What's wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave soldier, his eye hole with their... Isn't that how he lost his dumbass eye? Because he got an eye hole? America deserved dude. I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
In a video
and
game.
equipping and enhancing their capabilities. It's
Like
happening.
we totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy, we did in a video game.
There are two large aspects to this controversy. There is first interpretation, an interpretation that Hasan supports by calling them brave. Then there is his intent that breaks down his statement in that the US funding
Once again, this is a completely apolitical video, right? Yeah, Hasan supports by calling them brave. I'm just so I'm so over people criticizing other people for like supporting. Obviously, if you are encouraging violence upon anyone, that's a completely different story. But if you're just saying like, oh yeah, people fighting for the sovereignty of their homeland should not be like and summarily like carpet, and that's the criticism that you're getting, or saying that America is bad because they're like funding it. It's like, dude, America is the biggest state sponsor of in the world. Like in the history of the world, America is the biggest state sponsor. So I don't want to hear your criticism being, oh, well, you support because our are going into a foreign country and then getting their eyes blown out by people with way less funding, way less technology, and nowhere to go. So that's something that's wrong with you. You can't support unless it's American, basically.
organizations against mutual opposition like Russia empower them enough to be able to choreograph such an attack. The comments about brave fighters is also one that references a section in a Rambo movie when it called brave.
This film was dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. We did fund them. Yes, they were fighting the Soviet Union at the time. That's obviously important context. But, but we did have blowback when they turned on us.
That was Chink, the owner of the Young Turks and Hasan's uncle, bringing Hasan on to explain what he meant by his statement and clarify he did not mean ill will.
So you said America deserved. Did you mean that?
Following the original statement, Hasan was suspended on Twitch for 7 days, and he and the Young Turks were getting a sea of death threats. Entering 2020, this was one of the cited reasons why Hasan wanted to separate himself from the Young Turks. Bringing this controversial nature to the doorstep did not sit right with him, but also the Young Turks were starting to take issue with Hasan's success. On Twitch, he did virtually the most important thing you can do with content creation, and that is keeping a frequent schedule. He did this to a particularly unheard of degree. In 2020, he was live for over 3,600 hours. An even more jaw-dropping statement.
Okay, I don't care. 2021 controversies, critiques and being trolled, the divide. Okay, so that's with Ethan Klein. Willie Mac Show Fallout? Bro, Willie Mac Show was not serious enough to make an entire like 50-minute long. Wait, 127. 30-minute long section in your video about the fallout of the Willie Mac Show. Oh, and then the Twitch apocalypse, which we already described as nothing. And then the outro. Okay, let's just... all I'm going to do is the 2021 controversies, the critiques and being trolled, and then we're going to skip to the outro, because I do not give a about the rest of this video. I mean, this guy's shown that is like zero political analysis whatsoever. He's not even saying anything interesting. He's just like repeating extremely watered down criticisms of Hasan. I thought this would actually be like more anti-Hasan hatred, but it's literally just being like, oh, well, these one guys don't like Hasan, and then nothing else.
And that's why in August of 2021, there was a controversy about Hasan buying a $2.7 million house. For any other successful streamer, this would not matter. But for Hasan, it does, because it can be seen as inconsistent with the values of a socialist. It is likely that the most flack he got was not even from people diametric of him, but people in his own community that denounced.
Okay, Housegate. Hasan bought a house. Please let this be in the Ethan Klein content nuke. Hasan bought a house. Oh no, we should crucify him. Let's take him out. Let's put him on the guillotine. Yeah, dude. Guys, did you know that housing is against the socialism code of ethics?
Money for them to voluntarily and maliciously misunderstand my point so they can make YouTube videos and get ad revenue, because those clicks drive the controversy, and those clicks.
Another element Hasan uses in his defense is a perception that he believes people look at socialism like a poverty cult.
Yes, in America, people literally think socialism is a poverty cult. People straight up think if you're a socialist, you need to like literally live this life of austerity, and every single dollar that you generate cannot go to like any kind of personal consumption because that's up.
This is a defense Hasan will use when addressing controversy about other purchases like a Gucci bag. It is not so much people criticizing him about needing to live in poverty, but rather him living a highly consumerist, hedonistic lifestyle. A lifestyle that can be seen as aligning with the greed that capitalism can carry. Whether fair or not...
Bro, does this guy know what hedonism is? If you buy an expensive bag or expensive clothes, or like you go on a trip and you are literally working through the entire trip, that's being a hedonist. Oh man. Yeah, Hasan buys a house, Hasan buys Gucci bags.
These are the reasons why Hasan is increasingly becoming disliked regardless of political alignment. Even so, Hasan does say he gives money to charity, though he does not specify how much, and does make the point that giving money to charity should not exempt someone from criticism. Tangentially, there were a few people involved in this controversy, such as Destiny when he tweeted out a 2017 picture of Hasan wearing an Eat the Rich shirt alongside an article about Hasan purchasing a $2.7 million house. Ludwig, a popular creator Hasan is friends with, like Hasan did, attributed Destiny's tweet as the reason the controversy came.
Make the rich pay. It's not an Eat the Rich shirt. And Hasan talks about how he pays taxes all the time, right? Wouldn't it actually be consistent to be wearing a shirt that says make the rich pay, and then you also push for corporations and oligarchs to get taxed more, as Hasan gets taxed himself more? So once again, like, just straight up not being able to read words right in front of you in an attempt to just like frame the person as a hypocrite. And even if they're a hypocrite, who gives a dude? That's literally the lowest form of political discourse, saying that someone's being hypocritical. Criticize what they're saying. And this guy can't do that. All he's being is like, oh, Hasan bought a house. Hasan lived in Turkey. Hasan's an anchor baby. Hasan said America deserves in a video game. This guy is contributing nothing to the world. The only thing he contributed was unearthing like childhood photos of Hasan from the darkest depths of the internet. It's insane. Like, these are the criticisms. Like, honestly, I was coming into this video. I hadn't watched this video before this stream. I was coming into this video being like, okay, well, you know, Ethan Klein's been talking about this content nuke for a while. But this guy just released something. Like, we're probably not going to see anything that we haven't seen before. This guy's probably going to be a little bit of a preview to the Hasan content nuke that Ethan Klein has. But I don't know, like, this video was really bad. This is kind of making me more excited for the content nuke, because we might be seeing like more clips of Hasan that we haven't seen before. This video is just like, this is actually worse than Willie Mack's video. Willie Mack had more effort put into the research and kind of like clip compilations than this guy has. This guy's just rehashing old drama. He's not even finding specific clips and using these clips of Hasan and like calling out Hasan specifically for that. He's just like, and this is when Destiny called out Hasan, and this is when other people called out for Hasan for saying that America deserved, and this is Ethan Klein calling out Hasan. It's like, dude, you're not actually, like, I guess that's kind of the whole point of everyone hates Hasan Piker, but it just feels so lazy. Okay, 2121 controversies. You bought a house, great. Let's skip the house thing. I don't care what Destiny has to say.
Controversy machine were in place and slowly starting to turn. What would be happening from here on, as demonstrated with his purchase of a house, would be controversy about Hasan Piker. Not so much Hasan's take on a sensitive subject, even though those things go hand in hand. The difference now, likely due to his popularity, is that he would be at the center of the controversy. His next controversy took place just 2 months later when he revealed that he had sex with prostitutes in the past, specifically at a German brothel known as Artemis. To this, a Twitter user posted a snippet of the Artemis Wikipedia page, reading, quote,
okay, I don't give a like, I've gone over this before.
I'm 17-year-old, but does add some clarity in that this is how the investigation started and why the trafficking was likely non-systemic, even though the assailant did work.
Oh my god, he's still talking about the Artemis Club.
Which mod are right now? They're just like, is banning every single one of my mods right now? Deactivating their accounts? What the f is going on?
These mods, as discovered, were banned for saying a certain word that Hasan defends the usage of.
Something I've talked about so many times too, because it's like white boys love saying like crackers the same as the N-word, crackers the same as the N-word, right? It's really stupid. It's not like the etymology of the word is different. Like cracker means literally whip cracker. It comes from whip cracker. So the power still is in the hands of the white person in that situation, whereas the N-word is dehumanizing.
Hasan defends the usage of the word primarily because it is not as worse as others, but does not address the notion that people don't like being insulted due to their skin color. This spiraled into conversation on the usage of the word, and many streamers weighed in, with Hasan even—
Bro, what the what? Yeah, so explaining the etymology of the word cracker and explaining why it's not as bad as the N-word, because the N-word is dehumanizing and it's against a group of people that have been historically oppressed, versus white people who basically have all of the power in this country and in the world. And that's why, like, the N-word can be more brutal when used in certain contexts than the word cracker. And this guy's like, yeah, but he doesn't acknowledge why some people don't like being discriminated against based off their skin color. It's like he's literally explaining that right now. You're just too stupid to understand that. So is this literally the cracker controversy? Holy dude, these are so stupid. These are so dumb.